we doing? We're walking, Greg. But where? A place to wait out this rain. Oh, but shouldn't we wait for Beatrice? I don't need Beatrice. I'll figure this out on my own. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you have a plan. Hey, What? So, what's the plan? Because you're not saying any details, so it's hard for me. Greg, I do have a plan. And if you don't trust me, then you don't have to follow me, okay? If you want to go look for Beatrice, go ahead. You can do anything you want. Anything? That's a lot of power. A tree falls down. Word! Oh no! Did I knock down the tree with my powers? Sorry, are you okay? Yeah, that tree came at me out of nowhere. Greg, look, axe marks. Someone chopped it down. Indeed, 'twas I! Oh, stop! Listen! The beast knows of your presence, ready to claim you as part of his dark forest, but only if you give up. Keep hearty in both body and spirit, and you shall be safe from him. Fall ill or lose hope, and your lives shall pass into his crooked hands. Children, please heed my warning. Boys, beware the beast.
Y'all, if you haven't seen Over the Garden Wall by now, what are you doing?
What are we talking? I never heard of that before.
I can't believe it, Brian. I can't believe it. Elijah Wood giving his voice to an amazing character, Wirt. This show is the epitome of fall, and it has to be watched every time in fall. It's a Cartoon Network miniseries that came out, I think, in like 2015, 16, 14. I don't remember. Something like that, around that time frame. It's like 8 episodes or something. Great.
It's 10 episodes long, and it's got a lot of wonderful voice actors.
Yeah.
You just heard my very, very poor Christopher
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd, thank you.
Yeah. He plays the woodsman guy. And that mini series is so
Why is this
good.
the first time I'm hearing about this?
We've talked about it before.
You've probably seen the characters before, even. You probably have seen them and had no idea what
What's
it even
called
was.
Again?
Over the Garden Wall from Cartoon Network back in like 2014.
Yeah, I mean, who watches Cartoon Network Over the Garden?
Not at that time, nobody did. And then that came out and it was like, whoa.
But
that's
that
insane.
is seriously the best thing that they've put out in a good while, besides We Bare Bears.
Yeah. We Bare Bears is so good.
I
my
love
gosh.
We Bare Bears.
Do you recognize it, Brian?
This is the first time I've seen these images.
Really?
You're talking about this little boy with the red cone hat and this kid wearing a teapot on his head?
Yes.
Yeah. There is so...
Never seen that before in my life.
I can't believe that. I'm honestly
my kids
shocked.
don't watch Cartoon Network. Because nobody watches TV.
They should watch this. It's on Hulu.
Yeah, it's really quirky, interesting, a little bit actually kind of scary in some instances.
Oh, I mean, I trust you guys absolutely.
It's great. It really is so good. There's so many talented actors and actresses. There's a lot of lore behind a lot of it.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, it's
just
great.
like I've never heard of this, so it's completely.
That's insane.
Yeah. The story is quite compelling. It keeps you going, and then at the very end, it brings everything together, and you're like, oh my gosh, oh wow, wow.
And then Over the Garden Wall on any streaming services. It's a cult hit. It can be accessed through Hulu.
Yeah.
It just never merchandised itself or anything.
No.
So nobody ever.
No, because it's not one of those. It has that Cartoon Network look to it, definitely.
Right.
And some of the things that are in the show, you're like, that is definitely a Cartoon Network thing. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, it's very Fleischer inspired from like the 1930s. So it's very charming. It is very spooky. The story is very cool.
It's just perfect for starting like the Halloween season, the fall season. Just throw it on. It's only 10 episodes.
So
really easy watch.
2 young brothers stuck in purgatory wander through an unknown in between as they nearly drown in a lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in.
but it's not as cut and dry as that. There's a whole lot of other things that go into it that you're like, whoa, that's interesting. Why is this happening right now? Oh, I get it. It's very, very Cartoon Network. A lot of nonsense.
Yeah, and then you go back and watch it a second time, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh.
got it now. It all makes sense. So if
Yeah.
you haven't seen that, definitely go give it a watch. It's amazing. It's still fall. You still have time. So, right before Thanksgiving, give it a watch. I actually just bought it on YouTube so that I can always have it on the go. So.
Well, look at you.
Yeah. But anyways, speaking of YouTube, we're doing a YouTube podcast right now.
Hooray!
And thank you for listening. If you don't know who we are, we've got Brian in this corner.
I'm just ignorant. I'm just so ignorant.
We have
Oh my
KT in this corner.
I
She doesn't even know. KT's a corpse today. And
I
I'm
really am.
Liliana, your host. And we are siblings who have a love for all things nerdy, movies, video games, TV shows, all things of that sort, and decided to talk about it here on the internet with all of you people, and here you are listening. So, welcome! We've got quite a show for you guys today. Y'all! We've got quite a show because there's so much I want to announce that it's like spewing out of my brain, okay? I saw Five Nights at Freddy's on Sunday. It was awesome. I loved it. And we just got announced the new Legend of Zelda movie is in the works. I'm all over the place. And
Dude, Five Nights at Freddy's, you can stream that on Peacock right now?
Yeah.
That's what, man, were you here last week when I said that's how I watched it?
Like, what the heck? Why would they do that?
I don't know.
That makes
but,
sense.
but it didn't matter. Okay, this is what is so incredible about this movie is that people still went to the theaters. Disney, are you listening? They still did it.
Not a ton.
People had the most amazing theater experience watching this film, not only because it's a horror film, but because it's been 9 years in the making, pretty much, that we've had all this time of build-up, of loving this video game, loving this series, and then finally this movie drops. It has the original creator backing it. It has Easter eggs. It's made by geeks. It's not made by Hollywood, and it was great. And so the fans watching it, I loved it. It was so good. But I don't know what else to say with it.
When it comes to box office numbers, you got to remember this is an indie game.
Yes.
And while everybody has heard of Five Nights at Freddy's because, it's just a phrase now that you throw around.
FNAF.
Yeah, FNAF. Not everybody has played those games.
Right.
It's a very niche genre. And so for it to make as much as, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but it's something to consider.
Oh, it's not even in the show doc. Oh, okay. No, it is in the show doc. My bad.
Yes, it is on
My
the
bad,
show
my bad.
doc.
What the heck,
I'm gonna
bro?
go ahead and just bump
Come
into
on,
it then.
dude.
Okay, I'm bumping into it.
Bump
Bump that.
into it now.
Okay. But Five Nights at Freddy's won the box office weekend after a steep drop of 76%. It's now $220 million worldwide and 115 million domestic. Is that million still? Right?
Yeah.
No, it only made $115. Just $115.
Scrap. So I don't
It
know.
probably costs what, 20 mil to make though?
I don't know.
maybe something like that because you're pretty much in like 2 locations. No, you're in 3 locations. You're in the woods in Nebraska, or wherever they shot those woods,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're at the house, and then you're at the Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, literally
That's
20
pretty
million.
much it.
You nailed it, Brian.
That's pretty much it.
It was 20 million?
20
yeah,
million.
I mean, so that's a huge...
Filming
profit
began
right there,
in
big time.
February 2023. That's when I got married in New Orleans, and then ended in April. So that's only 2 months of filming. Like, okay.
That's really all it needed, really.
Right. And, that's good. But, yeah, it's only 20 mil, and they made it back. So, that's great. and it's
And then
only
some.
on its second week. So I mean, it's still got life to it. I would definitely go see it again. It was so good.
Literally, I just said that it dropped 76%. The life is almost gone.
But
people that already saw it.
But are people gonna be watching it on Peacock
That's
now
it.
that they got the thrill in the theater?
Yeah.
You know, so are they gonna be signing up for a Peacock subscription only for this movie? Possibly. I even considered it.
Oh man.
So,
I think it'll definitely
Dang.
become a staple Halloween movie.
oh, hands down,
Because
Balloon
it was,
Boy.
yeah, looking at you, Balloon Boy. It's accessible to kids.
Yes.
It's not too scary for kids. It definitely has its moments, but it's not like, oh, Jimmy, close your eyes. You weren't meant to see that.
And it was like the scenes that were like it was almost comedic the way that some of the deaths happened. It was almost like, you knew that person was gonna die. Like if I was 5 years old watching that, I'd be like, yeah, that person's totally gonna die. It's not even scary. It's like, duh. But
yeah, right. Can we go back to when you were growing up and you were...
We've already had this conversation.
I just want to say,
we're moving
I just want to say, 5
side.
years old. 5 years old.
I'll never get over it.
I was a special child in that regard. So the normal ones, okay, would have been completely fine watching that movie. So, yes, I think it will definitely become a Halloween staple for not even children, not even just adults, like of all ages. What was funny during my theater experience was the first Balloon Boy jump scare when the locker opens was a girl going, ah! in my theater. And I was like, because I jumped. Like I went, and then the girl actually screamed. I'm like, oh my gosh, that made it even scarier because a person reacted. So... But
that's awesome that it was Balloon Boy.
Yes, and it
hello.
It was such a joy to watch that movie and to see a YouTube star in that movie as a cameo. Just lit it, it just lit it. So if you haven't seen that movie yet, go give it a watch, please. It was so good, so good. All right.
Or streaming on Peacock.
Yeah,
I'll probably maybe check it out.
The girls, I think, would have a great time watching it. They would have
no, we
a
already
field day.
told them no.
Really?
What? Why?
It's PG-13, man. It's a horror movie. I don't know what's in this movie.
It's not even that bad.
Watch
dude.
it first and then let them watch it.
Yeah.
We're watching Harry Potter series right now.
That's scarier than this movie. I would agree. I would.
You wouldn't know, Ileana, because you haven't finished it.
We're watching
the freaking Dementors are the scariest
watching Chamber of
things ever.
Secrets on Friday night.
Okay,
nice.
Watching little Voldemort turn into a beastie thing, watching Cedric Diggory die is more terrifying than the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Okay, so
it kind
that's
of
all I
is.
have to say.
Like she does have a point.
Yes, it is. So the girls can watch that, and they'll probably laugh at one of the deaths because it was almost like, come on, is that the bite of 87? Was that the bite of 87? Anyways, we're going to go ahead and move on to something also dangerous, but it won't be happening anymore. Homer Simpson will not be strangling Bart anymore on The Simpsons. What type of decision is that? And why now?
They're probably... Okay, so The Simpsons has been going through a lot of changes. What's the guy that excuse me, that does the voice of Apu?
Hank Azaria?
Yeah, he no longer does that because he thought, oh, I'm kind of being racist. But not really. If you take a step back, no, I don't think so. You're a voice actor.
No.
You're a voice actor. It's not like you're actually
And that's like kind of the whole shtick, is that it's very stereotyped. Like,
look, man.
Yeah.
The Simpsons has been around since the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just a different world all around. It really is.
And that's just it's just the fun thing about it. It's a stereotype. Are all people like that? No. But it just makes it funny. Laugh at yourself. Dang.
I don't know. If some Indian person was like, you know what? Not all Indian people work at Quickie Marts or
Obviously
7-Elevens.
they don't. Like, come
But
on, people.
I don't
Obviously
know.
they don't.
All it takes is one person to be like, well, that hurts my feelings.
Boo-hoo,
Yeah.
shut up.
So,
I think
and,
for oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, and just moving into the strangulation part. Strangulation, yeah.
Yeah, they're like child abuse.
That's
Yeah,
child abuse.
Violence.
It's yeah. Now it's as an adult, it's like, well,
But it's a cartoon. It's exaggerated. Every parent probably looks at their child at least once and goes, if I could, I would. And, Bart never passes out on the ground.
I know my parents came very, very close to choking the life out of me.
And so
times.
it's like, it's a realistic thought. It's one of those, if I could, I would. I don't want to actually hurt you. I don't actually want to, this and that, but it's a cartoon. Grow up.
But then again, too, we brought this up because my kids, they like watching The Simpsons. We watch a lot of the old episodes. We watch like the first 10 seasons. Then after that, Simpsons is not that good.
That's
the point
weird to
is,
say.
how is The Simpsons even relevant still? Why are we still talking
No,
about them?
I actually heard that the this current season and the one before it are actually really good.
That's
But
hard
who's
to believe.
watching it?
So Fox is actually pretty smart with the way they slate their animated series. They put them all together. They give it a fancy name, Animation Domination or whatever.
Yeah, Sunday nights.
And so and they slate it all together. So you have Family Guy, Bob's Burgers. There's another one called Craptopia or whatever. That one's a
Crapopolis.
yeah.
That's so stupid.
They
yeah.
come up with the new one every season because they're not all of them make it.
Yeah.
You had the Disenchantment on Netflix.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
that's on Netflix. But they structure it in a way where okay, it's on. I'm waiting for Family Guy and American Dad. All right, I'll go ahead and watch it. So why not?
It's a pity. It's a bone. Throwing a bone. It's a pity
Yeah.
watch.
The first 10
it's good
seasons
now.
are, you can watch those on any time, and
Yeah.
'cause they're always gonna be funny. They're always great.
And
they have great flappy humor, and they actually have like some good family moments that are
Yes.
like.
But
Aw.
it's become a classic thing to watch the Simpsons on Halloween, even like the
Yeah, we were watching that. Yeah.
that's just become
We
like
do.
a normal thing to do.
Yeah.
So that's a tradition for many people. But what I don't hear is many people watching The Simpsons on a day-to-day basis. You might want to watch the specials on a Christmas or a Halloween or whatever, just like how you watch Snoopy and Charlie Brown. But those are not things that people
No,
watch.
my kids,
daily
we
now.
love watching Bart fall down the well, and then you have
Oh my
Sting
gosh.
coming on and doing like a sending our love down the well, and Krusty's like, go down the well.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Yeah, so I just don't know who's watching them anymore. If you are watching them, good for you. You're
Disney
keeping
Plus,
them alive.
bro. Disney Plus. That's
Keeping
where
them
we're
alive.
watching.
So, no more strangulations. No more strangling. Yeah. Moving on. I don't know what this is, so you're going to have to help me out. Blade will be the MCU's second R-rated movie after Deadpool 3, and I don't know what Blade is. I haven't even seen it, heard of it, or anything.
Okay, Blade was this Marvel comic book movie that came out in the 90s starring Wesley Snipes as this super jive cool vampire killer who happened to be a vampire. This new version is going to be starring Mahershala Ali as Blade, the vampire killer. It'll be a new MCU installment. It will be rated R because there's blood and gore and vampire killings.
I feel like that's such a different sect or like division in the MCU. Like you've got the what is it? The Iron Man's, the Captain America, the Thor, and they're all like kitschy, action movies, and then you've got like the Deadpool, the Wolverine, that other stuff that's over here, kind of off to the side of it's like, hey, we still exist over here. We're just not family friendly.
Well, they're talking about they've been talking about too, and now X-Men. When are they going to bring out X-Men back into the fold?
That's what I've been waiting for.
Which, I guess that's fine, right? There's nothing controversial with any of those people.
I mean, I don't know if it'll just be another reboot of X-Men.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
I'm
so
trying to think of like the people who already were established in X-Men. I'm like, are any of those actors controversial now? Because I'm thinking,
it's not the actors, it's what they did with X-Men.
okay,
So you had Apocalypse. I almost said Apocalypto. You had X-Men Apocalypse, which was awful.
was that the one that we saw in that really crappy dollar theater in Florida?
No.
Which was the one where they had Quicksilver?
Days of Future Past.
Oh, that's what it was.
I think
He
That's
was
where
in
it
that
was.
one, and he wasn't in Apocalypse. If I'm
No,
not
I think it was
mistaken.
Days of Future Past.
No, they were.
that I saw.
He was in both those movies.
Yeah, but I think the one I'm thinking of was
Okay.
that one.
Yeah, Days of Future Past was really good, and then they switched to Apocalypse, which you don't even have to be a comic book nerd to know, oh, this is awful. Just the whole movie, terrible. So that left a really bad taste in Fox's mouth. Fox owned, and still owns, the X-Men movie license. And so also you're going back and forth between Disney saying they own X-Men. So there's just legal battles, and there's just a lot going on right now with X-Men, which is a shame because I want it back, and I think it was popular enough to where people would love to see an X-Men movie. You also have my husband, Jack Human, not being Wolverine anymore, having to look for a new Wolverine. In fact, I saw pictures today of the lead singer from Skillet posing as Wolverine. That was amazing. And so if you could find a guy like that to play Wolverine, I think it would work. But you still have to find a guy to do that.
Yeah.
They're talking Dan Radcliffe.
No! Are you
Dan Radcliffe.
I'm done. I'm
Because
done.
they want a short in stature Wolverine, but he's also got to be yoked, and I guess Dan Radcliffe got yoked recently.
For Wolverine, that would be so weird.
He's
like
the way he speaks though, it's like, "Hi guys, Wolverine here."
Oh my gosh. I don't know
what
if he could ever break away from, and I hate that for an actor who did such an iconic role. I want them to be able to break away from specific characters.
Well, everything he does now is
he's done a
comedic.
few things. Yeah, he's done a few other things.
Wait. What about Robert Pattinson? I know he's Batman, and that would be really weird.
No.
But
no, why would you say that?
Because he's, I don't know, he could.
No, I would want a fresh new face.
Get a
like
TV
fresh
actor.
new face, like how we
It's
got
just
fresh
kind
new
of-
face with Rachel Zegler, and what a nightmare that has turned into. Are you sure you want that to happen?
I didn't vote for her.
She was a fresh new face.
She is a face.
Ugh. So, anyways, Blade, rated R, great job. Woohoo.
Hey man, it's Mahershala. Mahershala does good work though.
Mahershala! I will not be seeing this movie because I am done with the MCU. I'm sorry, but
We'll
there's
talk about more about that later in the MCU stuff.
bump that will be there. We already did Five Nights at Freddy's. So, y'all, this was the other thing I was excited for too. Oh, it's been such a good week, okay? Season 2, the first episode of Invincible is out on Amazon Prime. And it really is, I like how you worded this, Brian, truly animated comic book come to life. And it's so true. And did you guys watch the first episode already?
I did. I'm so bummed because I'm like, oh sweet. I had like a whole Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh sweet. There's gonna be a bunch of episodes.
No.
No, just one.
Yeah.
Just one. Come on.
I
What the
know.
heck, man?
I hate when they do that, but that's what they did with the first season too. You had to wait for every
Did
episode.
they?
Yeah.
Dang. It's like, well, I just need to wait till like January. But in fact, I read that they're all coming out like the half now and then half later on in 2024.
What a lot of streaming services are doing is because they want your dollar. They're not releasing it all at once because they don't want you to binge and then cancel your subscription. So they're saying keep your subscription so you can see every episode that comes out.
Netflix didn't do that because I watched already half of Big Mouth this season.
Ew, you like that show?
Talk more about that in a sec. But no, man, Invincible is like solid. What a great show, dude.
Oh my gosh, so good. The way
Great voice acting. Just
the way they started this season off was like, pardon, freaking pardon. Excuse me? Or did you get that feeling, Brian? Like, what?
No.
Or were you? Did
I
you
wasn't
already
really
just know?
Shocked or surprised or anything. I kind of just went to the flow of it. It's just been so long.
Yeah.
You know,
and I'm like a whole year and more.
Yeah.
Half a year probably. A year and a half probably.
So far it's worth it, but I'm like, let's go. You know,
You want the episodes released now?
Yeah, I mean they're 40 minutes long each episode. Thank the Lord. If it was like 25 minutes or something,
no.
Oh my gosh, what a waste of time.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. It's like let's go, man, because this is excellent.
The voice acting really does wonders.
Stephen Yeun is great. The guy. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts. I'm forgetting his name. He's a great actor. The guy that plays the superhero in command guy with the messed up face, and he's like got long hair but bald here.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
His voice acting is exquisite. And
yeah.
I apologize. I'm totally blanking on his name right now.
I don't know
he's
any of.
Excellent actor.
It's been so long that I forgot the characters' names, you know, and I'm not able to jump back into it.
Then Sterling K. Brown, I did recognize him. He played the African American character that had the accident, you know.
Yeah, the brain.
Yeah, dude. I thought that was just his acting. Sterling K. Brown. You might remember him from such shows as This Is Us.
Walton Goggins?
Walton Goggins is an amazing actor.
That's who you were talking about before.
Katie would know Walton Goggins from the Tarantino film Hateful Eight. He's in that. He's such an excellent actor.
Yeah, so that I'm glad it's back. I'm glad we're getting episodes. Something to look forward to every week, I guess, for the foreseeable future. I don't know how many episodes this season will be.
Then I just saw literally earlier today. I haven't watched Gen V yet. That's the spin-off of The Boys.
Oh, yeah.
But The Boys is coming out next year. Finally, thank you.
Next season? Is that season 2?
No, that's season 4 of The
Okay.
Boys. Yeah, and that's in demand. We're waiting for that one too. Big time.
I just really love J.K. Simmons' voice as Omni-Man. It is just like a flow of like chocolate. I don't know. That's how I can describe it as.
Ask Katie, watch J.K. Simmons in Whiplash, and you'll be like, dang.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal movie.
And I watched that movie again the other day because it's just so good.
That is not how music school operates, by the way.
No, because
that's the one where he's a music teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I've been wanting to watch.
It's currently streaming on Netflix.
Really?
Check it out.
Okay,
yes.
I'll have to. I'll do that.
You have to. It is so good. In fact, I watched it again for the second time, and I bought the whole soundtrack to the movie.
Really?
It's just really that good.
That's how I feel about the soundtrack for The Martian. Martian is such a good movie. I just recently watched that. That's why it came to mind. Anyways, moving on. Brian, you mentioned Big Mouth final season just released. So what is that? What does that mean for you?
All right, so they're the characters in Big Mouth are leaving middle school because middle school sucks.
Yeah.
and they're going into high school, and they're going through all the changes of going into high school. Big Mouth is a filthy, filthy show.
I'm sorry, but that is the ugliest looking show ever. It is simply disgusting to look at.
Dirty, 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 filthy teenage comedy. But it's
probably all about
good...
pubic hairs and
you have no
and everything else in between.
But
just disgusting.
There's some laugh out loud parts, man. I can't recommend it. It's just one of those vices that I have where it's just
pick it up on your own terms.
Dirty. It's a dirty pleasure,
Yeah. It's just ugly.
I tried to watch it when it first came out because a lot of my college friends were like, "Oh my god, it's so funny," and then I took a step back after watching just a few minutes of that episode and was like, "Oh yeah, I don't really like you."
Well, it's like you gotta have teenage humor at the same time to just really like something like that.
It's borderline. It's
pretty bad, and that's coming from me. I watch South Park. A lot of adult animation shows. I just cannot get through it. It's just
BoJack Horseman.
Stupid. No, it's just stupid. Like, just to me, it's just like humor that's thrown together for the sake of shock value, and there's no substance to it. And I can't get on board with that.
Every now and then, it has some great witticisms.
Yeah.
Witticisms.
But I mean, it's the only way I could say it is a dirty comedy.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's getting another. It just got the season, so I mean, people are watching it. People love it, apparently. I just don't get how y'all can get past how ugly it is. I'm sorry.
That Satan thing is ridiculous.
Ew, that little goat thing. Gross.
Oh,
yeah.
Because he's the hormone monster.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
I'm done.
I can't watch it.
I've done a second time today.
That's what it is.
Speaking of being done, what is this? Okay, I'm done. Barbenheimer movie getting released?
Yeah, so
is it like the phenomenon of it?
No, it's like an actual B movie that's being filmed and created. Pretty much, it's like you have this character, Barbie-esque, who's a scientist who's being trained to like blow up the world or something like that.
Is this like the Starving Games or something?
No, it's something like that, like Sharknado, some crap like that.
Oh
my gosh.
Lord.
You know what I want to see when Barbenheimer was becoming a thing? People were also joking, guys, you know what else is coming up? Paw Patrol and Saw. It's Saw Patrol.
Stop.
That's what I want to see, Saw Patrol.
Oh
I would love to watch two dogs saw their feet off, their paws off.
Yeah.
Mommy, this isn't what I thought it was.
Shut up, Johnny. This is amazing. So.
My name is Timmy Tantrum.
Oh yeah, Timmy. Shut up, Timmy. But yeah, so that's a thing, and that's gosh, why? Brian, did you have the numbers or research any of the numbers for the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie?
How much money it made, box office?
Yeah, because...
Hey Siri, how much money has the Taylor Swift Eras movie made?
I just can't believe that was a thing.
I mean, it's been the #1 movie for weeks.
I hate that. I'm sorry.
Okay, the movie had a low budget of $10 to $20 million, mainly covering filming expenses and crew costs, making it a cost-effective production.
Yeah.
I mean, the concert itself, the tour, has made over $1 billion. I think more than $1 billion. It's made like $4 billion.
So much money.
Yeah, I mean, the movie is just like tacked on. The movie has been a massive box office hit, earning over $160 million so far, and turning a profit even before its theatrical release due to record-breaking pre-sale tickets. I think my girls, their friends from school, they went to go see the movie. The movie's 3 hours long.
Oh
Oh my
Lord.
gosh. No.
I don't care about Taylor Swift that much, y'all. Okay.
She did recently become a billionaire. Legit.
I'm surprised
She
it
is
happened now.
Yeah, she is now considered a billionaire.
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Eat that, Kylie Jenner. She tried to
She's-
become a
she don't
billionaire,
care.
and it
She's
was
a billionaire
fudged
too.
numbers. So this is probably
She's
not.
not.
fudged.
She's not a billionaire.
No, she's not.
Whatever.
She was not the
is.
youngest female billionaire because numbers were fudged. So Taylor Swift is on. But anyways, I just wanted to know
Oh
about
wait!
that.
Breaking news! Breaking news,
Breaking
everybody!
news.
As of 1 hour ago, SAG-AFTRA has announced that the strike would officially end at 12:01 a.m. on Thursday, with the Guild's negotiating committee voting unanimously to approve the deal.
Wow.
Jack Black was on there to make it happen.
Wait, he resigned?
No, Jack Black said he's the one. That's according to Jack Black,
Oh,
the
okay.
actor.
Yay!
Wow.
Very good. Way to go, Fran Drescher.
Woo,
She
Fran.
didn't do jack, man.
Fran.
What? Yes, she did.
She did not.
Fran.
Dude, George Clooney had to save her butt a bunch of times, man.
Oh my gosh.
Fran.
George Clooney.
Anyways, well, thank you for that update. Also, Katie sent us an update as well that Enola Holmes 3 is in works at Netflix. Release date 2028. Not really, but because of what all is happening, I'm assuming, you know.
I bring that up only because Mom likes that movie.
I like the movie. They were good. I
Yeah,
watched both
they are
of them.
good.
Because she's a Henry Cavill fan.
Not
Who
anymore.
isn't? What? Why? Oh, because of The Witcher?
Because The Witcher.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And she
Do you
was
see
like,
his-
not
Do
anymore.
you see his junk in that movie or something?
You see his butt and he has sex.
Oh my.
Nice.
Oh my. I recently saw, maybe it was today, I saw, you know how these AI things have just been floating around lately to mess with us?
Yes.
Because people have no chill and no time, apparently.
Yeah.
Or no job or anything. I don't know.
No.
Anyway, no job. Somebody announced, The Witcher 3, season 3 or something, season 4, he's handing off the
Ew.
reins to somebody else, and it's it's so bad. That was so bad.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Already people made AI generated images of Liam Hemsworth as Geralt, and it's it doesn't look good. Even him
No.
as Geralt is still gonna look just as bad as these AI photos. It's not right. It's not right.
Yeah. Just
And
stop.
I'm
Stop, people.
no Liam Hemsworth hater, but it's just not right. Another thing that I'm glad this is happening, okay, is that people are how do I say it? I feel like the word condemning is a harsh word, but similar to the new Wish movie. And I know we've talked about this before, but it's being said and said again that this is such a watered down Disney movie. This is such bare bones to what they've done in the past. And I'm glad that it's going around more and more, like how Pixar has been called out and now they're taking a step back. I'm hoping that Disney will also fall in suit with how they're being called out with their bare bones, not whitewashed, with their washed down, watered down movies. So I'm glad that I'm seeing video after video after video on YouTube come out about this Wish movie.
We'll see. We'll see, and we'll figure it out.
Have
and
you
see if it's
heard
bad.
the Chris Pine villain song?
Yes. It is
It's
atrocious.
awful, Brian.
He sings?
Yes, and it's so
Yes.
Why?
It's a
bad.
villain song.
and it's so bad.
So is it Be Prepared or?
No!
That's a killer villain song. You want the Be Prepared. What we're getting instead is a Moana type song that's a happy-go-lucky but from a villain.
I just want to kill everyone
Yeah.
and rule the world, because this
Exactly.
is the way it should be. And if you don't do what I say, then
Ooh.
you're just full of pee.
This one too, that at the very beginning of the movie, it gets the Encanto treatment where I can't remember the new girl's character. Her name was like Elise or something. She's saying like, gather round, come follow me, and I'll tell you about my town. Oh, I hate it so much. I hate it so much. It's awful. Am I the only one?
I tried to tell you guys.
It's so bad. And I can't
I tried to
stand
tell
it.
you.
I'm like, what is up with these movies?
I'm just like, what? Is this movie take place at night? Like the whole movie? Every time you see
Yeah.
it, it's like a...
It's like a purple color. Like definitely nighttime hues.
And like,
Yes.
is there... It's in the evening.
Maybe he
or
wishes
something?
for the sun to go away. That's what happens. No sun for you.
They're like, this song sounds like it was directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Who is ready to have their wish granted? I can't help it. If mirrors love my face, it's
Ugh.
genetics. Yeah, I got
See,
That
it's
is
that.
the villain song, and it's
That is. He's about to say, "What can I say except you're welcome."
Like,
genes from outer space. In the name of magnificent, I put the eye in omnipotent.
I know it's a lot. The hair, the bod. When you're staring at a
Chris Pine,
demigod.
dude, you're supposed to be cool, bro.
he was in that not League of Legends, the other
Star
one.
Trek.
No, the nerd movie.
The D&D.
The D&D movie, that was so good. He did such a good job in that movie. And then you have a little diaper like this
Oh, wait a
movie.
minute. I just said Chris Pine is supposed to be cool. So if he did D&D, obviously he's not cool.
Wrong.
Shut your dirty whore mouth.
Someone praise me for my benevolence. Just look. I'll let you live here for free and not
I can't. It's so bad. And I'm like, the little star character in the movie, that's probably going to be my favorite part, is just looking at him. Okay? Just him. Everything else, I hate. Already.
Oh, man.
Just from seeing, like, 5 trailers.
You know, maybe, possibly, and I hate to say this, but maybe this movie is not geared for us. Maybe this movie
No,
is...
I hate that
No.
argument.
Okay, no. Okay, let me put in my
okay,
two
he's
cents.
on her side.
Devil's advocate.
No.
Hey, I thought you said you were going to be calmed down
That
this
is
episode.
definitely,
You said
you're
you were
valid.
going to be calmed down.
No, Brian,
this
you are
episode.
valid in saying that. You're allowed to say maybe it's not for us. Like the Paw Patrol movie, okay? I'm not going to go out there and be like, oh, what the heck is this freaking...
No, wait.
The animals and the...
Let
Yeah.
me, before Katie gets in, what I'm saying is we're children of the 80s and 90s, the millennials, you know? That's who we are, you
Yeah.
know? And we remember the movies, the Disney movies that we remember, and we love those. But maybe, perhaps, this Disney movie is not for us. Maybe it's
hate
for
that
somebody
argument.
else. Go ahead,
You're
Katie.
allowed to say it.
All right. So again, you're entitled to believe what you believe.
I'm
However,
not saying that like I believe it. I'm just saying
Okay.
devil's advocate. Maybe
all
that's
right,
what they
devil's
want.
advocate. Here's my rebuttal. When we think of, let's just stick with The Lion King. Actually, let's go back to Aladdin. That movie came out in 1992. Is that right?
Agreed.
So I was 3 years old. And you still had it was the Renaissance of Disney. We were in the Renaissance.
yes.
You had a compelling villain. And it was like Disney amped it up year after year, taking it all the way to Judge Frollo. And then even Clayton in Tarzan. Those were compelling villains. Yeah.
Hades.
But here's why I mentioned them. We should not have to water down stories to fit the generation that we're in. That is, to me, not pointing fingers at any one person or whatever. That seems like a slap in the face to the audience, saying, "Oh, you're not sophisticated enough or intelligent enough to grasp the complexity of this villain." That should not be the case. You shouldn't have to have a villain be bouncing around looking like a good guy, proclaiming that he's a good guy, when it's clearly a villain. You don't need that. Let a villain be a villain.
And not only just the villains, but the story in
Chilling
general.
like a villain.
Not even just that. I've recently watched Finding Nemo again, okay? And I was, maybe 6 years old when that movie came out in 2003. And watching that movie as a child, watching Marlin lose his wife and his children all in that moment, gobs of tears. As a kid, still, 20 years later, as a 26-year-old, I am able to still watch that scene and get choked up. So I wasn't being treated like a child watching a children's movie that is probably rated G or PG, whatever. Oh, do you have the poster in your room, Katie?
I'm looking at my poster. It does not say what it's rated.
So even, it doesn't matter. It is a kid's movie, but I wasn't treated like a child. I was treated like an intelligent human being watching something with a story. And they treated me like I was smart, like I could get it, without there being a quick jab, a joke, a fart, a sneeze, a burp, whatever, to make me giggle every 2 seconds. They had my attention with visuals, with story, all of that. And I was a kid. I had the attention span to sit there and watch that as a kid, as I do now as an adult. And I still enjoy that movie as an adult. So I don't think it's an argument of this is not a movie made for children. Or I'm sorry, this is a movie made only for children. It's a cartoon that can be enjoyed by all audiences. Disney is very good at doing that, or at least they were. And now they're treating their child audience like they're dumb and incompetent. Like they can't sit there and enjoy something without hearing a burp, a fart, a sneeze, whatever, you know? And so that's where I'm getting agitated. That's why I'm mad at Disney for treating their child audience and their adult audiences like we can't handle it. Or they just don't, not even that we can't handle it, that they just don't want to do it. They just don't want to produce it. They don't want to think hard enough to make a masterpiece like they once did.
And going back to Over the Garden Wall, that did not pander to small children. You know what I mean? It was on a children's network, but it definitely had moments of scariness. It had some thought-provoking themes. It had some silliness, a lot of silliness, but it didn't focus on that silliness. It was trying to tell a compelling story.
It wasn't a buffer in between everything. It was integrated into the story naturally, like humor should be. It's not thrown in there to keep your attention. It's thrown in there because this character is actually funny, or this character is witty, and so they're thrown in naturally to match their character. Whereas now the character is based off of that, like, quirk or the cutesy or the something. Their whole character is based off of the adjective, not like I am a whole person developed and these are also my characteristics.
Yeah, like they used oh my gosh, not word. Greg. They used Greg. They made him silly and immature and imaginative, but they also used that as a point where that's getting us into trouble.
He's a plot device.
Yeah, it's a plot device. And it's moving the story along. It's not there to make the kids sit down and go, oh my god, he's funny.
Yeah.
So,
And that was the same thing with Sokka in Avatar. He was also the, what was that called?
Comic relief.
Yeah, comic relief. I'm gonna say comedic relief. Comic relief, but he was in the story. When he needed to be serious, he was serious.
He had an arc. He started
Yes.
somewhere.
Yes.
And then he grew as a character.
And
he was
that's
still
what-
funny, because that's part of who he is, but
Yes.
he was a lot deeper than that the whole time,
And
too.
that's not happening with these Disney movies. It's very
No.
surface level. There's no depth to this person. And I'm like mostly looking at Mirabelle as like the catalyst for a lot of it.
I was
because
just gonna say that.
I think
yeah.
she just made it worse. For like, you had Rapunzel, and Rapunzel, she was a leveled character. She had many levels in her. She wasn't just quirky. She wasn't just afraid. She wasn't just brave. She had many levels to go into her character development.
She literally had internal conflicts with her outwardly.
Yes. She was very innocent and sheltered. However, she was brave and bold and wanted to go try something. So she had motive.
But she also didn't want to go against her mother, in quote.
Yes.
So she felt bad for disobeying and feeling like a bad daughter. And she even said, I'm a despicable human being.
Mhm.
But then she's out and going having fun. And so she's trying to figure out what to do with herself. And, should she be free or should she do what her mother wishes?
And
that's
those are
that's an
very
internal conflict.
human things. And then you have a person like Anna in Frozen that she's not a fully developed character, in my opinion. She doesn't have every level. She's very robotic almost. And then you've got Mirabelle, who also feels very robotic. I feel like Moana kind of was on the edge of being a Mirabelle, but also was mature, so I don't know. But Mirabelle, I think, was the catalyst for now this new character. I cannot remember her name for the life of me now, but that's the Wish dilemma, and I'm glad that it's being talked about by more people, because I didn't want to be the only one who was not excited to see this movie. Like,
I don't know, but it's Disney's 100-year anniversary film, man.
And they're freaking it up.
It's a
maybe
darn
it's gonna
shame.
be the bomb diggity,
It's a darn shame. But anyways, it is time to go into the chunk zone.
So chunky.
All right, Brian, you wrote this chunk zone for us, but it's mostly Katie and I that will be discussing it. Would you like to introduce it for us?
Yeah, I'll introduce it for you guys. The big news. There's a lot of news that came out today, like lots of trailers. We didn't talk about the Marvels. Is that open up this weekend?
Yes, and I'm hoping to see it maybe Sunday.
Okay.
I actually
That will be
really
there.
love Captain Marvel.
So the
So I'll
reviews
be the
that
one
I
person
saw,
there.
the reviews so far that are coming in are like, this is actually a decent movie. But I wonder if the anticipation for the movie is not so high, because the last trailer I saw, they're like, watch as a secret comes out that will change the entire MCU. Like, oh, we really have to see this movie because this is gonna
Like they
be...
haven't done that in almost, or tried to do that in every movie to grab us,
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they're desperate. Like, they're talking about this movie's going to make $60 million this weekend, which would be the lowest MCU opening film in forever, But, and then, also new today, too, before we jump into the chunk, Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer coming out next month. We will see.
Nice. Bob, that will be there.
That'll be huge. That'll be very huge because I don't know.
I can
but
hear
there's
the
this-
music playing in my head.
I don't
right
know.
now
There's
of
this
GTA.
game called Grand Theft Auto 5 that came out like 20 years ago.
Yeah, so
People
long
are still
ago.
playing it. All right, here we go. The chunk though. So the other big news that I know all you Nintendo and Zelda nerds will love is that they are developing a live
Whoa.
action Legend of Zelda.
The amount of people who sent me that link to the headline was astonishing, because I'm known as the Zelda girl. I mean, it's right behind me in my little square.
What are the pieces of the Triforce?
We have power, future,
anchovies. Oh, sorry.
and
Gas X.
I'm done for a third time. Continue, Brian.
Anyways, so it's officially in development, produced by Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto, and then Avi Arad, who's been around producing films, director Wes Ball to direct, and then Derek Connolly is going to be penning the script. Response from the Zelda community has been all over the place. So just a little bit. I just want to talk about, so for all you Zelda people, you guys are wondering like, oh my gosh, is this in good hands? Is our beloved Zelda going to be made by people who actually know what they're talking about? Because when I thought about it, I was like, is this going to end up like that one movie with those big green troll people in that game?
The World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft. Yeah. Is it going to end like that? Where everybody was like, screw this noise. We're not watching this movie.
And it definitely cannot be given the Mario treatment. It's not a Mario type movie at all.
So is it gonna get like a Lord of the Rings treatment? Is where it's gonna be like
I don't
very, very almost historical, very realistic, but it's still a fantasy.
No,
Is it gonna get like a Princess Bride treatment? Is there gonna be talking? You know, is it...
There's actually there's actually a lot of dialogue in Zelda games.
Yes, a lot of.
So you're gonna have to read subtitles, like.
Well, those are the older games, but you have in more recent games you do have cutscenes.
That's the thing. What is this movie going to?
I bet you. If I were gambling, it would be based of Ocarina of Time.
That's what I was gonna say. Ocarina of Time. Okay.
That's the N64 one.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And I feel like it's one of the most beloved of the games, one of the most played of the games as well.
So you have the Zelda games from the NES. You have Ocarina of Time. I don't know, was there a Super Nintendo one?
Yeah, you had Link to the Past.
Link to the Past.
Well, you also had Majora's Mask and Wind Waker,
Twilight Princess.
So, like, say this was the first... If you were going to make a movie, would you go Ocarina of Time as, like, this is the one that we make the first movie? Obviously, if it does well, there's sequels... There's sequels, there's trilogies, there's spin-offs, there's all that crap.
Right.
You know, streaming on HBO Max, whatever the heck it is, you know. So you're saying Ocarina of Time is not where you would go.
No, Ileana, let's say it together. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Twilight Princess.
Okay.
The story is there.
It's so good.
But is that a good introductory to the character of Link and Zelda?
Ocarina of Time would be where you would start because you start as Kid Link.
And that's why I'm thinking it's gonna be that one. It just makes the most sense.
And it's iconic.
Yes. Like I
Very
said,
iconic.
It's one of the most popular ones. Most people played it. Most people our age grew up with that one. It's beloved. So,
but story-wise,
it's not.
Twilight Princess is even with the modern games, I would say story-wise, it's probably the best.
Yes, it's still the best.
So that's good to know. I think our Zelda fans out there will appreciate that, your guys' take on which one, you know, would. And then if you did Ocarina of Time, like if you were to take that video game story and put it into a movie, that'd be like a 2.5 hours, 2 hours.
You would probably even have to break it up into into part, yeah.
I don't know, because I feel like that movie, that video game is very straightforward. It's very plot straight
Driven.
line,
Plot driven.
A to B. It's
I mean,
very-
Yeah.
think about it this way too: the video game movies are really taking off now.
Yes.
For the most part, they're really getting really popular. Mario movie obviously showed that the audiences will go see it. Now, I think our biggest critique of the Mario movie was that it was very uncluttered. It was like very sparse on plot. It was just
yeah.
boop 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 boop. Zelda, obviously, there's a lot of lore.
Right, and that's what
There's
I'm
a lot
gonna.
of history.
That's what I'm
How-
gonna bring up with Mario.
how deep do you get into a Zelda movie where people are not like exposition?
That's the thing. You could make the movie of a cinematic universe with Link easily because the timeline is there and there's so many different Links. You have Child Link who lives and you have Child Link who dies.
Ooh. And
And-
you know what? If I'm just some random guy coming in, I don't want to know anything
No,
about
exactly. And so I hope they don't do that. For fans, they'd be like, yeah, lore, woohoo. But for the people like the Mario movie fans, you want Mario beats up Bowser, saves Princess Peach.
Or if you think about it this way, my husband, Wesley, he doesn't know anything about Zelda. Not one thing. He just watches me play it, but he doesn't understand what he's looking at. So what is he going to understand when he goes to a movie? Brian, why are you smiling like that?
Because I'm thinking about it too, and it's like, I don't know. It's just some guy in a green suit, kind of like Robin Hood or something, and he's
supposed
going
to look
off.
like Peter Pan.
There you go. He's going off on some journey, a quest to save some sleepy chick or something.
What?
You know.
Sleepy!
I don't know. So it's like, is it just like a quest movie? Is it a war film? Is it just, yeah? You
So
wonder.
there are a lot of layers to Zelda, and I'm not trying to sound like a nerd, but I'll try to rope it in. So there are a lot of layers to all Zelda games. There are a lot of fetch quests. You have to go to. There's a lot of discovering new lands and new types of people. You have to defeat the bosses. There's a lot of that, but you also have a lot of story.
Mm-hmm.
And the story is what drives all the games. Unless you go back to the original Zelda game for the NES, it's more exploratory. And that's what Breath of the Wild was based off of, was that original NES game, just exploring and saying, what's over there, or what happens when I do this.
Way less story. There's
Yes.
characters, there's dialogue, you can talk to people. There's mostly just, oh no, the world was thrown into chaos and towns were destroyed from these, weapons of mass destruction because of the evilness of this one guy. And it's like, wow, okay. You could write that as a story and people who are not fans would still follow.
Okay, so I think that's interesting. There could be different views, different takes of it. You can go a lot of ways. So let's talk about the people who are going to be handling this. So we have Miyamoto, he's a Nintendo guy. So everybody, he knows what it's about. He's the guy representing Nintendo.
Yeah.
This is his baby. He's gonna.
He did create The Legend of Zelda.
Okay, so
Incredible.
So he's not effing around. This is his thing.
This is his
So-
child.
Yeah, so then we have Avi Arad, who a lot of the credits for Avi Arad are from the Marvel movies from the 90s, the 2000s, before the actual MCU actually got created. So he did the Daredevil, Hulk, Punisher, Spider-Man 2, Elektra, Fantastic Four, X-Men The Last Stand, Ghost Rider, Bratz. Yeah, we got the producer of Bratz up in here.
Woo!
Ghost in the Shell, the one with Scarlett Johansson that nobody liked. Venom, Uncharted, another video game movie. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse. So he produced those films, and we all know those are amazing.
You have a lot of hit or misses in there. I'm sorry.
There are a lot of hit or misses. Some of those, for every Daredevil, Hulk, Punisher, you get a Spider-Man 2 or the Spider-Man, so they're all good. For every Bratz, Ghost Rider,
Uncharted.
You get a Venom.
Yeah.
That people like.
You have Across the Spider-Verse in there.
I feel a lot of these films are crowd pleasers.
Yeah. And that could work well in their favor, I guess, because
if you're looking at these movies, these are all big blockbuster films. Movies that have big budgets, have a lot of visuals, a lot of them are introducing characters like a superhero. So if you want to do that, maybe that's where you want to go to. Directing is Wes Ball, who did the Maze Runner films. Never seen one. Have you guys seen any of them?
I wanted to back in the day, but I never saw
And
any
he
of them.
just did the recent Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is, I just saw the trailer for that come out this past week. It's the new Planet of the Apes film.
Those are so good. I'm sorry. They're so good.
Yeah, they're not bad.
I know a lot of people really don't like them, but I like them.
So you got a guy who's got some work with CGI, because this movie's always going to have to use that. And then, before we even we'll talk about that later, writing the film, and this is where I was like, good lord, what the heck? Is this the best that we can get to write these films? Like, this guy better be, because this is Derek Connolly, the guy that wrote Jurassic World 1, 2, and 3. Jurassic World 2 and 3 are horrible. The scripts are so bad. A 10-year-old child could write them. I'm not even joking. Monster Trucks? The writer of Monster Trucks.
I'm offended. This is so
okay. He did Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Okay,
That was
Bill.
good. That was good.
It was an
I liked
okay
it.
film.
But then, this kid, Derek Connolly, was the writer of Rise of Skywalker. And we all know how that turned out.
Yeah.
Is Rise of Skywalker the most hated of all the Star Wars films, prequels,
Probably.
original trilogy, and sequels?
Probably.
I think so.
I mean, at least,
of
you
these
know,
new ones, yes.
what was the second one after The
Last
Force
Jedi.
Awakens?
No.
Yeah.
The Last Jedi.
Was it the Last Jedi?
At least Last Jedi took some, was
Creative liberties.
it was creative.
It was
but
interesting to watch.
Rise of Skywalker was like, goodness, man.
I don't know. Was Force Awakens actually as good as we thought it was, or was it just because
I love Force Awakens.
Yeah,
I love
but
Force
the
Awakens.
thing about Force Awakens, it is literally A New Hope in sheep's clothes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm fine with that though.
Yeah, I like it. I like
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I'm-
It was
But,
just-
not
but
a-
let's just call it what it is. But we like it.
yeah.
I don't like Last Jedi. I despise it, and
You mean Rise of Skywalker?
both of them.
Both of them.
Oh, okay.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Both of them.
I liked The Last Jedi.
I mean,
It wasn't terrible.
look, I like them because I don't think there's a bad Star Wars movie, but they're not that great.
They
just
find
not
their
that-
place in this world.
Yeah, but it's like
Or another world.
you're telling me that there's a huge fandom of Zelda people out
Yeah.
there, thousands of them that love the crap out of these games.
Thousands.
Millions.
Better. More like it.
Millions and millions. And you're telling me you got the guy who directed Monster Trucks or wrote Monster Trucks and Rise of Skywalker, the most rushed Star Wars movie of all time?
Yeah.
That's the guy that's gonna write this thing?
I will say this. Miyamoto will not let anything go through his hands that he does not want it. Want it to.
That's
you know what I
very
mean?
true.
You sure about that?
I
Very
am
true.
positive.
He is very particular.
He
about it.
okay, and I've listened to a lot of historical things with Nintendo, as far as video games getting developed, he will straight up scrap something that's been like almost completed because
Yeah.
nope, not what I wanted.
I feel like he's got a Stan Lee approach almost, okay? You have the man who created the MCU and all these beloved characters was there along the way of all of these movies to say, no, that's not canon to this character. And you can see how well those movies turned out. They did amazing. They were hits. They had everything in it. And I feel like, or at least I would hope, that a man who created this thing that is so beloved by many would say, nope, this cannot pass through. I don't care that you're the producer. I don't care that you're writing it. This is mine. You're going to treat it with the respect that it deserves.
Do you think that could be detrimental to the overall story?
No. Like it would hinder it?
Yes. Like, imagine
Like
if Pete Jackson's doing Lord of the Rings and Tolkien is still alive. And they're like, and Jackson's like, hey, Mr. Professor Tolkien, should I do this with the Hobbits? And he'd be like, well, actually, no. You know, and
No,
it's like,
because I feel like those men also speak in like riddles almost. And this is something that has been talked about Miyamoto before. He will let people have creative liberties. He will. He's not the only person. He's like the head, you know? He's looking at everything, but he's got people under him who are also doing the head turning of other people. And he'll let them drive. He'll let them, but he'll also go like, my Padawan, are you sure that this is what you want to see? Let's maybe look at it through a different glass. Not saying a no, not saying do it this way, but maybe let's look at it differently. And he'll give them that option. And I've seen that in many interviews and many discussions and articles of him before, of people who have worked under him talking about him in that way. So I think that's a very, like, Yoda. I feel like he's like a Yoda. He's giving wisdom into the people who are under him.
Which you can see because he actually gave up the reins of Zelda to Eiji Aonuma.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so Eiji Aonuma has been a part of, has been in charge of Zelda, I think since Ocarina of Time. And so you can see the differences in
He's been his Padawan. He's been learning underneath him, and Miyamoto was always his guidance counselor, I guess I would say.
Yeah, and Eiji Aonuma asks for input. It's not just Shigeru saying no, watching over his shoulder. Aonuma will go to him and say, hey, what do you think about this? And he'll give his input, and then, okay, Aonuma will go back and say, let's do this.
And I think that's what will make a successful movie in all of this, is if they can look at the guy, everybody's a working part, everybody's moving, but if they can look back to the guy and say, hey, can we get some advice? What do you think about this? You are the creator of this. Help us out. And take his opinions and his input and whatever with, respect, and treat it like, this was his child, so I need to take care of it properly. I don't know.
And then, before we wrap this up, so obviously this is going to be a live action film.
Don't say it.
Don't. If the words Tom Holland come out of your mouth, I'm gonna slap you through my computer.
No, that's not. I mean, that might be a conversation for
No.
another
I
time.
saw somebody saying Chris Pratt is Ganondorf.
No, I think the conversation though for now is, because when I was looking it up, I saw lots of the Zelda community just kind of all over the place with it. Some were like, yes, live action. Others were like, no, do an anime. Others were like, no, do a CGI film, animated film. Do a hand-drawn. Do serialized streaming 10-episode deal. you guys are obviously huge fans. We're getting a live action version. What would you guys prefer?
I would prefer one live action movie to see what they would do with it. And it would cost a lot of money. But that is opposed to having something streaming where you have to suffer through all of these episodes if they're really bad. And then
getting nothing from it.
Exactly.
It sucks.
Yeah, and then having that ruined, having it tainted. 3D animated, no, that seems like it should be done very far in the future. Because you have to handle the storytelling part first and see how audiences would handle it.
2D either, no. That's going to be really expensive. It would have to be like a Studio Ghibli-esque.
We're so in sync. I was just thinking that, yeah.
So that would be a lot of work to do that. It would have to be Studio Ghibli-esque because there's so much detail in everything, in the whole world of Zelda.
A lot of creatures.
Yes.
A lot of different species of
too.
a lot of just a lot of things.
Right. So that would cost a lot. And like Link has a lot of weapons that he uses. Are you going to incorporate that? Okay, then you have to showcase why he's using them. So, I don't know.
And you also have to take a step back and look at the characters. So Link is a very one-dimensional character, really.
Yeah.
Because he is a silent protagonist and you're controlling him and he's basically just swinging a sword at the end of the day. He's solving puzzles. But then you have these other characters that drive the plot around, especially Zelda. It's called The Legend of Zelda, but you barely see her. So how are you going to sell her?
Yeah.
You have to make a compelling character, and I think Ghibli would be the ones to do that.
So it's going to be a very delicate thing who knows when this movie's coming out? Who knows what story they're going to tell? Maybe they're going to tell a brand new story we haven't seen before. I doubt it, but what
dumb.
if they do? I don't know. It's just going to have to be taken care of delicately, just like how Mario was. They spot on did Mario, though. It was so A to B plot. Very simple.
But that's what it needed.
And that's exactly what Mario games are. So if you're gonna do a Legend of Zelda game or movie, then you're gonna have to show what the game is. Which it could just be as streamlined as an A to B plot, because it's go here, gather these things, and then go fight Ganon. Boom.
Does Link have like a lot of companions on his journey, or is he kind of solo?
He has different companions in every game.
Okay.
And it's usually one companion.
Because then that's like, oh yeah, time for some sidekicks.
Like in Wind Waker, he had Tetra.
Yeah.
In Twilight Princess, he had Midna.
In Skyward Sword, he had Feed.
In
Ocarina of Time. Fairy.
Yeah. Hey! Listen!
So, you have a lot of different characters you could choose from. You have a lot of different games you can choose from. What story are you going to tell? I don't know. But, bump that will be there when it comes out. And we will either be pleasantly surprised or horribly shocked.
Horrified.
I feel like those are the only things. We'll be like, wow, I'm pleasantly surprised. Or, oh my dear
Kill it with fire!
This was a horrible idea. They should have never done this. So bump that will be there when that comes out. We just got the green light that it's happening. So there's no release date. There's nothing at all. I think, did they say Sony was behind this?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the only other information that we've got other than the directors and...
Which is kind of ironic, right?
Yeah, that
Sony
we had
doing
Illumination, and then now we have Sony.
Well, no. The irony is Sony owns PlayStation.
Right, but they're also a movie company.
I know, but it's just...
Yeah.
Ooh, the irony!
Which is totally fine, because Sony's got some killer stuff. Sony's got some killer stuff
Yeah.
that they've come up with. So
Looking at you,
hopefully-
Spider-Man.
yes, hopefully they can produce a really cool looking movie. But we'll just have to wait and see. And that, my friends, will conclude this week's episode of Bump That. There was so much news. There was so much good content. I love this portion of 2023 right now. This is it. This is the good stuff.
Yay!
So,
By the way, there was some. Oh, finally! I said this to you guys earlier. Finally, next week. Avatar is we're getting a trailer.
that was tomorrow.
No, it is tomorrow.
It is tomorrow.
Ah!
Yeah,
Okay.
trailer tomorrow.
Yeah.
There was a lot of news that came out today.
I know. That's why I'm like, whoa.
What happened today? Is there like some convention going
It's
on?
a day to celebrate.
That's why I'm exhausted.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll talk more at a different episode. It is late. Katie needs to get in bed, and so do we.
I do.
Anyways, we've got Brian in this corner.
Till tomorrow, Avatar fans.
We've got KT in this corner.
Ah!
And I'm Miliana, your host. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Leave a like. Leave a comment. We love to read and see all of that stuff. And we will see you guys in next week's episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.